Everyone has reason to be safe on the job. What's yours? We want you to be alert today, alive tomorrow.
As an association of 15 contractors and 31 associate members, we take safety seriously, and so should you. Fact is, nobody plans an accident. That's because they're all preventable. Do I feel lucky today? Or would I rather be safe than lucky? Don't be that guy. Keep your job site and your coworkers safe. Everyone has a reason to get home safely. Remember, be alert today and alive tomorrow.
Who is responsible for safety? The easy answer is everyone. But legally, it falls on management to be responsible for the prevention of injuries and illnesses through supervision. Of course, employees are responsible for their own safety and the safety of those around them, because safety is a condition of employment. Remember, there's no such thing as an accident. Be alert today, alive tomorrow. Nobody saves money cutting corners on safety. Nobody gets a bonus for risking safety to get the job done faster. Companies manage their safety programs intently because the human cost and the financial cost of sloppy safety protocols will always come back to bite you on the bottom line. Management has a duty to create a safe, secure work environment, to inspect frequently to ensure compliance, to establish, monitor, post, and maintain safe work systems, procedures, and practices, to comply with legal requirements, namely the Ontario Occupational Health and Safety Act, and Ontario Workplace Safety and Insurance Act, and the requirements of federal and Ontario Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System regulations, and to conduct safety orientations for all new employees and review safety regularly.
No job is so urgent or important that it can't be done safely.
Hey, you. Yes, you. You are responsible. Yes, you are responsible for your own safety and that of your coworkers. Did you know you must comply with the OSHA? You must wear and use all personal protective equipment, devices, and clothing as supplied by the employer. You might want to put those safety glasses on then. You have the right and the responsibility to report any missing or defective equipment or protective device which may be dangerous. Yes, you. Did you know you should report any known workplace hazard or violation of the OSHA to your employer or supervisor? And did you know you have the right to refuse unsafe work? Okay, you do now. So what are you standing around for? Get back to work. Be alert today, alive tomorrow. You have a plan to get to work. Do you have a plan to get out in an emergency? Every job site has exit paths. Whether you're working, whatever you're doing, know your exit routes and the emergency procedures to ensure safe evacuation. Got questions? Ask. Emergency procedures must be posted at every site. This is especially important if you're working at height or underground, or in a confined space, and in some circumstance you may be required to practice emergency procedures on some jobs. It's the law. In the event of workplace injuries or illnesses, the worker must report immediately to their supervisor, Joint Health and Safety Committee representative, or safety representative. Even if no one is hurt, written notice of a close call or near miss, which could have caused an injury, is required. Why? Safety is a serious business. There are no do-overs or second chances. Be alert today, alive tomorrow. You'll also find first aid supplies at every job site. It must be inspected at least quarterly, accessible, and stationed near a worker with a valid WSIB first aid certificate. Employers must also keep detailed records of all incidents and first aid treatment given. Management and employees share responsibility for safety through the Joint Health and Safety Committee. It's an advisory body which meets regularly, gets reports of all incidents, and works to promote a culture of safety. A worker member of the committee must also inspect the job site once a month to ensure compliance. Not all workplaces must have a joint health and safety committee, and the number of appointees on the committee depends on how many workers are on each job site. The names of certified worker and management committee representatives are identified and posted on site. If you want to be more involved in safety, get certified yourself. Ask a committee member or your union rep to explain how you can start the process. This is your melon. This is a workplace incident. Not pretty, is it? Now this is your melon head with a key piece of PPE, personal protective equipment. This is a workplace incident. Make sense now? Good. Always wear it. Be alert today, alive tomorrow. Your safety helmet is a wonder of modern engineering, which consists of two parts: an outer shell and inner shock-absorbing suspension. Never modify the shell or suspension. Replace it if struck by a falling object. Don't leave it in direct sunlight or apply paints or other solvents or cleaners. Finally, inspect it daily for cracks or dents. It's your melon. Protect it. In addition to your hard hat, of course, there are other key PPEs. Your work boots. They must be CSA approved. Your safety glasses. Your gloves, which in some cases on UCA jobs may require either low-voltage rubber or high-voltage gloves. You may also need a pair of approved flame-resistant coveralls. No. Use your common sense. Dress for the job and work safe. Alert today, alive tomorrow. All workplaces, by their nature, are hazardous. That's why safety is a must. By law, an occupational hazard is a thing or situation with the potential to harm a worker. There are two categories: hazards which can physically injure workers, and health hazards which result in disease. Not all hazards cause immediate harm. It all depends on circumstances, such as the toxicity, exposure, and duration. That's why they are rated according to the harm they represent. Managed properly, hazards don't present a risk. We're talking about lead in paint and pipes, asbestos, and other toxic substances, especially in older buildings and equipment. Managing hazards is a continuing chore which everyone, from management to workers, must take responsibility. It's a three-step process. First, hazards must be recognized. Then, they must be assessed. Finally, they must be controlled. Not all hazards come in the form of things. Winds, snow, ice, water all represent possible hazards because weather has a major impact on outdoor job sites. Being aware of your environment is critical. Clear snow and ice to ensure firm footing. Get electrical outlets away from water. Wear a respirator if there's dust in the air. Check for spills and report any found to your supervisor. Limit the effect of the spill on the environment by controlling how it's spread. Excavation and trench work is a fact of life in the construction business. It's also one of the most dangerous activities for both those working directly and those who are nearby because of the risk of falling into an excavation. Make no mistake, excavation cave-ins can be deadly. Most cave-ins occur on small, short-duration jobs like water, gas, electrical, and sewer connections. Risks include tripping over equipment, excavated material, falls, objects falling on workers, exposure to underground services or overhead electrical cables, unstable adjacent structures like buildings, mishandled or poorly placed materials, lack of oxygen, toxic, irritating, or flammable and explosive gases, or incidents involving vehicles and other mobile equipment. Working at heights is a risk not just to you, but those around you. Falls from heights are one of the leading causes of critical job-related injuries. There are all kinds of hazards, from dropping a tool to falling yourself. PPE protects you from falling objects. Barriers, restraints, and harnesses protect you from falling. There are separate regulations and training required if work requires you to work at more than 3 meters from the ground. That's about 10 feet. If your work requires you to use a ladder, mechanical lift, or other mobile platforms, you must be trained and certified in its use. If you work above 3 meters, you may also have to have up-to-date training in the use of a travel restraint system, a fall restricting system, a fall arrest system, a safety net, a work positioning system. This is a box. It's your workplace for the next 8 hours. Okay, it's just a demonstration. If you are assigned to work in a confined space, there has to be a plan and procedure to get you and your colleagues to safety. There is usually only one way in and out, so you must be trained to do your job in a confined space. The technical definition of a confined space is simply a space not meant for continuous human occupancy, and where there may be atmospheric risks, such as a gas leak or smoke from a fire relating to the work or process being done there. If you're going into a confined space, ask about the hazard assessment and for the written plan, which includes all duties and rescue protocols, as well as someone outside the space to watch your back and take action as needed. One more thing, follow the plan and be alert today, alive tomorrow. Maybe you're one of those people who think it's a good idea to play on Highway 401. No, not such a good idea. Well, here's the point. Construction sites may not have as much traffic moving as fast as the 401, but they are busy places. Yeah, it's scary, all right. Be awake. Be aware. No one but authorized personnel should be on site. Only trained operators can use machinery or vehicles. When operating mobile equipment or vehicles, check for both your blind spot and your spotter. Train and orientate all new workers and subs on the site. Try to stay confined to your designated work area. Identify potential hazards. Take corrective or preventative action. Maintain barriers. Ensure all machinery is in good repair with all safety features functional. Keep the windshield and mirrors clean. Inspect daily. Report deficiencies immediately. Employers and employees share responsibility for traffic control. Employers must ensure written traffic protection plans are in place and that workers are trained on the plan. High visibility safety vests are a must. What you can't see can hurt or kill you. Being alert today, alive tomorrow means assuming electrical hazards are always present for utility contractors. It's what we do. Never assume those cables aren't live until you prove it. Treat every piece of wire with respect, even the wires you can't see. When you're digging, follow the rules.
Dig in the right direction at the right distances. And if you're digging within 1 meter of a located utility, make sure that you follow the requirements of the locate and the procedures of the utility owner.
If you're working around sewers and water mains, be aware there may be shock hazards. And stick to your job. We don't move or touch energized equipment for any reason. Leave it to the power linemen. That's their job. Finally, dress for success. Working around electricity means you cover up all bare skin. Make sure your PPE is rated appropriately. You must also have CR39 lenses with ultraviolet protection. Shades are cool if they're rated at 1.7 max shade rating. These aren't. Save them for the beach, buddy. Remember, rubber gloves are a must when working on energized electrical equipment. Make sure they're tested every 90 days, worn the right way, and never used for more than 5 months of work or shelf life. If they're cracked or worn, replace them. You don't work in an office, and this guy doesn't work on a construction site. You work in a dangerous place. No unauthorized personnel should be on the site unless escorted, and even then, they must wear basic PPEs. There's a reason they build fences and install gates at construction sites, and it isn't to keep some of your coworkers inside. It's to keep the looky-loos and various nosy parkers out of your face and safe. Finally, anytime you're working in an area where the general public might walk through, ensure the work area is blocked off with signage and barriers, and that all trip hazards and other overhead hazards are secured. The law is clear. There is zero tolerance for bullying of any kind in the workplace. but especially a construction site because of the inherent dangers. Know where to draw the line between some kidding around and workplace harassment. This isn't your grandfather's construction site. Language and harassment of coworkers, especially picking out gender, race, or cultural issues, are grounds for instant dismissal. Violence of any kind between coworkers for whatever reason is unacceptable. If you are on the receiving end of unwanted harassment or violence, report it immediately to your shift supervisor. Do we really have to explain this? Alcohol and drugs don't mix on a construction site. Even coming to work after a hard weekend of drinking and consuming recreational drugs will impair your judgment and may make you a danger to yourself and others around you. Anyone remember this one? This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? Or you could look at it this way. This is your melon. This is your melon on drugs on a construction site. Got it? Okay, let's move on. Not only do you have the right to a safe, bullying-free workplace, you have the right to be heard. If you've brought your concerns about any aspect of safety or training to your shift supervisor or the safety rep and feel they haven't been fairly or properly dealt with, then you have the right to bring those concerns to Human Resources. It's the law. Make your voice heard. You have the right to a safe and healthy workplace.
You have the right to have your concerns regarding safety, health, and environment addressed.
You have a right to access all information regarding workplace hazards. You have a right to refuse or stop doing work you believe is unsafe or that you have not been trained properly for. If you don't know how to do a job you've been assigned, stop. Do not touch a tool or machine until you've been trained on its safe and proper use. Don't be shy. Make your voice heard. Everyone is responsible for safety, but no one is more responsible for you than you. So, take responsibility for your safety and actions at work. Follow all safety rules, safe work practices, procedures, and permits requirements. Be aware of and respect all potential hazards and take action to secure a potential hazard without being asked. Take appropriate steps to protect yourself and others, even if it means speaking out. And be alert today and alive tomorrow.
We can't wait till you get home. Please be safe.
Construction sites are dangerous places. In fact, being a construction worker can be more dangerous than being a firefighter or even a police officer. Falls from heights, being hit by a vehicle or piece of equipment, excavation accidents, electrocution, and being struck by falling objects are just some of the risks you'll encounter daily. But with some planning, training, and awareness, following the rules and procedures, we can all get home safely. Remember, there's no such thing as an accident, and no job is so urgent or important if it can't be done safely.
The Utility Contractors Association of Ontario. Alert today, alive tomorrow.